Good evening and welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining William Osler Health Systems Telephone Town Hall. My name is Hema Ramlochan-Tuit, and I'm a member of Osler's Patient and Family Advisory Council. I'm delighted to once again moderate Osler's Community Telephone Town Hall this evening. Please note that tonight's call is being recorded and will be available on Osler's website within a few days. Before we begin, I would like to first acknowledge that Indigenous peoples are the original caretakers of this land, now known as Peel and Etobicoke. This is the ancestral territory of the Wendat, Haudenosaunee, and the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. Much of Osler's work takes place in the traditional territory and treaty lands of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. As visitors in this territory, we at Osler would like to express our gratitude to the Mississauga people of the New Credit First Nation, the descendants of the Credit First Nation. Osler would also like to respectfully acknowledge the diverse community of Indigenous peoples representing a multitude of distinct nations who currently live, work, and play in this territory. We would like to express our commitment to honoring Indigenous communities and nations across the territories now known as Canada. Tonight, some of Osler's leaders will share the latest hospital updates, including how Osler is preparing for the fall-winter respiratory season, the steps people can take to support their own health and wellness through this season. What we also look forward to most, however, is hearing from you. From my experience as a volunteer patient and family advisor, I know Osler's leaders are committed to listening to and learning from us all. As part of the interactive event over the next hour, we will look forward to engaging in meaningful two-way conversation with you, either on the phone or through our website. Throughout this evening's town hall, I will also be asking a few polling questions, which you can easily respond to by using your phone. I will provide more details on how to do so shortly. It is now my pleasure to introduce Osler's senior leadership joining us this evening. We have Elsa Cabral, member of Osler's Board of Directors, Dr. Frank Martino, President and CEO of Osler, Dr. Dorothy Baker, Interim Associate Dean, Undergraduate Medical Education, Toronto Metropolitan University, Kiki Ferrari, Chief Operating Officer for Osler, Kathy Renaud, Interim Associate Vice President, Capital Development, Osler, Mary Jane McNally, Chief Patient Experience Officer, Osler, Ken Mayhew, President and CEO of Osler Foundation. Also available for questions tonight is Tony Rosso, Vice President, Clinical Services at Osler. Over the next hour, you will have several chances to ask questions. To be placed in queue to ask a question, please press *3 on your phone at any time. We will get to as many questions as we can, both on the phone and those submitted through our Osler's website. For those callers who we cannot respond to during the live event, I will provide instructions at the end of the call on how to leave your questions so Osler can get back to you. To those just joining, welcome to the William Osler Health Systems Community Telephone Town Hall. I would now like to invite Elsa Cabral, member of Osler's Board of Directors, to say a few words.
Thank you, Hema. Good evening, everyone. I'm delighted to be part of tonight's event and to be able to speak with you all. Thank you to Osler's leadership for creating this opportunity to connect with our community. These are tremendously important conversations. As a member of Osler's Board of Directors and Chair of the Health Services and Quality Committee, it means a lot to me to have open and transparent communications with our community. We sincerely appreciate you joining us tonight. Before my colleagues share their updates, I want to express the pride that I have in Osler and the confidence the board has in Dr. Martino, in Osler's leadership team, and in its frontline workers. This team is steadfast in its commitment to providing innovative health care delivered with compassion. Since I joined Osler's Board of Directors in 2022, I have witnessed firsthand the outstanding dedication of our healthcare teams across the organization. On behalf of the entire Osler board, I want to offer my gratitude to the hospital staff, physicians, and volunteers for their ongoing commitment and for going beyond for patients and families each and every day. Shifting gears, I'm really excited for the transformational journey that lays ahead for Osler, including hospital redevelopment projects, the partnership with Toronto Metropolitan University to bring a new school of medicine to Brampton, and many more. I will now pass it back to Hema.
Thank you for your leadership, Elsa, and for your kind words. For those who have just joined, if you'd like to ask a question or make a comment, press star 3 on your phone. This will bring you into the question queue to speak with one of OSLER's leaders. We kindly ask that you keep your question brief so we can get to as many as possible. I would now like to ask Dr. Frank Martino, OSLER's President and CEO, to say a few words.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Hema, for the introduction and for hosting this important conversation with our community. And thank you, Elsa, for your heartfelt remarks. I echo your sentiments of pride in our healthcare teams. I'm immensely proud of everyone at OSLER and of everything they do, day in and day out. This community and this team truly are the why and the reason I am so inspired to help build a strong, unified, and inclusive health system of the future. As Elsa mentioned, we are embarking on one of the most exciting chapters in our history, with a series of exciting priorities on the horizon. I want to touch briefly on some of those now. We're moving forward with the transformation of Peel Memorial into Brampton's new hospital and planning for a comprehensive cancer care center at Brampton Civic Hospital. Kathy Renaud, OSLER's Interim Associate Vice President, Capital Development, will provide more updates on these exciting projects. For the future redevelopment of Etobicoke General Hospital, establishing a research institute and partnering with the Toronto Metropolitan University to open a new School of Medicine in Brampton. Along with important partners, we're truly building a comprehensive health system for generations to come. Dr. Dorothy Backer, Toronto Metropolitan University's Interim Associate Dean of Undergraduate Medical Education, will speak more about this exciting partnership shortly. Thank you for joining us tonight, Dr. Backer. As a leading hospital system in Ontario, we're looking ahead to a bright future for healthcare with transformative developments, while continuing to work diligently to respond to the challenging needs of the community and to ensure that patients receive the quality care they need. OSLER serves the community with the highest growth rate of all large cities in Canada, which, especially at this time of year, impacts on our emergency departments at Brampton Civic and at Etobicoke General Hospital. My colleague, Kiki Ferrari, OSLER's Chief Operating Officer, will speak in more detail about this and about what we are doing to improve access to health care in our community. Kiki will also share what you can do to protect yourself and others from illness as we head into the fall and winter season, and where to go to get care if you need medical attention. As we head into the late fall and winter season and prepare for an increase in COVID-19, influenza, RSV, and other respiratory illnesses, my colleague Mary Jane McNally will share what this means for OSLER patients and their loved ones who visit. And last but not least, my colleague Ken Mayhew, OSLER Foundation President and CEO, will provide an update on the community's continued and inspiring efforts to support our hospital. Before I turn it back to you, Hema, I want to share once again a heartfelt thank you to OSLER's healthcare teams for continuing to provide outstanding care to our community, as well as to our patients and families for their continued trust in us, to our many community and government partners for their ongoing support, and to our donors for their enduring generosity. Thank you again for joining us tonight. Now back to you, Hema.
Thank you, Dr. Martino. For those who have just joined, if you'd like to ask a question or make a comment, press star 3 on your phone. This will bring you into question queue to speak with one of OSLER's leaders. We kindly ask that you keep your questions brief so that we can get to as many as possible. I would now like to invite Dr. Dorothy Backer, Interim Associate Dean, Undergraduate Medical Education for Toronto Metropolitan University, to say a few words.
Thank you. Good evening. On behalf of Dr. Teresa Chan, the Dean of the Toronto Metropolitan University School of Medicine, and our entire team, thank you to our partners at William Osler Health System for including us in tonight's conversation. We are proud to have Osler as our primary clinical partner, and we're grateful for their support as we work towards opening the school in the fall of 2025. CMU is designing its medical school to be community-driven and intentionally inclusive, and to train doctors whose cultural humility is as crucial as their medical skills. As our clinical partner, Author will play an important role in providing a clinical learning environment for our future students through medical education, residency training, and professional development. The school will be located at the former Bramalea Civic Center in Brampton. CMU chose Brampton as the home for its medical school because it represents the future of Canada. Like many communities across the country, Brampton is diverse, innovative, resilient, and growing fast. Meanwhile, access to primary care is decreasing. The School of Medicine aims to increase the availability of high-quality health care and continue to attract top medical talent to Brampton, Etobicoke, and the surrounding areas. The healthcare approaches developed in Brampton can then be used in communities across the country to increase access to primary care and overall well-being. The School of Medicine will be an agent of change, preparing future-ready physicians and impacting care delivery at the community level. In addition to these benefits, the school is expected to generate $1.2 to $2.6 billion in economic activity over the next 10 years and create over 7,000 direct and indirect jobs in the Peel region. We are committed to building the school with the communities it will serve. Our entire planning process has been and will continue to be community informed, with the School of Medicine collecting feedback and integrating it into the design of the program. So thank you to all of the local organizations and residents in Brampton, Etobicoke, and across the Peel region who have engaged with us to provide feedback on a variety of areas, including curriculum design, admissions processes, and social accountability. We are eager to continue to engage with community members, physicians, and students as we move forward. So we invite you to stay connected and get involved with the school. You can visit the School of Medicine website at torontomu.ca/medicine for more information and future opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Packer. As I mentioned earlier, I'll be asking you a few polling questions this evening to invite your input on some topics of interest. First, we'd like to know, did you know before tonight that Author was the primary clinical partner with Toronto Metropolitan University in the new School of Medicine in Brampton? Press 1 if your answer is yes, I knew Author was partnering with TMU on the School of Medicine. Press 2 if your answer is I had heard something but didn't know what it meant. Press 3 if your answer is no, I did not know Author was involved in the new School of Medicine. Let me repeat the question and the responses. Did you know before tonight that Author was the primary clinical partner with Toronto Metropolitan University in the new School of Medicine in Brampton? Press 1 if your answer is yes, I knew Author was participating with TMU on the School of Medicine. Press 2 if your answer is I heard something but didn't know what it meant. Press 3 if your answer is no, I did not know Author was involved in the new School of Medicine. To our listeners, if you'd like to ask a question or make a comment, press *3 on your phone. This will bring you into the question queue to speak with one of Author's leaders. We kindly ask that you keep your questions brief so that we can get to as many as possible. We would now like to announce the results of our first polling question. We're going to take a pause and we're going to move on. I would now like to ask Kiki Ferrari, Chief Operating Officer at Author, to share some important hospital updates.
Thank you, Hema. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. As Dr. Martino mentioned, our remarkable staff, physicians, and volunteers are committed to providing innovative, compassionate, and quality care to this incredible community. A great example of these efforts is Osler's oncology team, who, with support from a broader interprofessional group, brought a life-changing therapy for patients with multiple myeloma, a type of blood cancer that forms in plasma cells in the bone marrow, and they brought this care close to home. This therapy is for cancer patients who have exhausted all other lines of therapy and treatment, and it typically improves the survival prognosis from days or weeks to months or years, and is already being tested for treatment of other cancers. To our knowledge, Osler is the first community hospital in Canada to provide this life-changing anti-cancer therapy. Wow. Osler's commitment to going beyond is also demonstrated through the introduction of a robotic surgical assistant that helps patients recover more quickly after surgery. This robot is affectionately known as the Rosa Knee System, and Osler's Rosa is one of only approximately 10 in use in Canadian hospitals. You may have also heard in the media about Osler being the first acute care health system in the world to implement the butterfly approach, an emotion-based, person-centered model of care for patients living with dementia. The butterfly approach and Dr. Sudeep Saha, the physician leader for this revolutionary approach to dementia care, were recently featured in a high-profile video campaign from the Ontario Medical Association, and we're so proud of this incredible accomplishment. I'm also pleased to share that Osler recently received the Ontario Health Trillium Gift of Life Network Hospital Achievement Award in recognition of our team's dedication and contribution to organ and tissue donation for transplantation. I want to give a shout out to our team that champions this life-saving work. I'm so very proud of all these accomplishments and hope that you will join me in expressing gratitude for Osler's dedicated clinicians. As Dr. Martino mentioned, Osler's emergency departments are seeing a high number of patients who need admission to hospital and who need more care, higher than many other regions in Ontario. This is in part due to the seasonal rise in influenza, COVID-19, and RSV, and other respiratory illnesses. But more so, the fact that Osler serves a community with the highest growth rate of all large cities in Canada and some of the highest rates of chronic disease, such as diabetes and cardiovascular disease in the province. While the emergency department is the best place to go for care if you are seriously ill, we would also like to remind you about the other options for care available to you and your families. These include Osler's Urgent Care Center at Peel Memorial, regional virtual urgent care services, calling 811 or going to the website health811.ontario.ca, and last but not least, going to your family doctor. If you have a life-threatening emergency or aren't sure, call 911 for an ambulance. We are always here 24/7 to care for you. We are here and ready. All of this information and more is available on Osler's website. And lastly, for those interested in a rewarding career and joining a leading team, I recommend checking out Osler's website for details on job opportunities. We are always looking for new team members who share our values and are committed to making a difference. I want to thank you all for the encouragement you have provided our staff and physicians and volunteers over the past 3 years. We are so fortunate to have such a supportive and engaged community. I will now pass it back to Hema.
Thank you, Kiki. We would like to now announce the results from our first polling question. Did you know before tonight that Osler was the primary clinical partner with Toronto Metropolitan University in the new School of Medicine in Brampton? 28% said yes, I knew Osler was partnering with TMU on the School of Medicine. 19% said I had heard something but didn't know what it meant. And 53% said no, I did not know Osler was involved in the new School of Medicine. We would now like to ask our second polling question. To answer the question, please press the number on your phone that corresponds with your answer. If you or a family member were sick and required medical assistance, do you know your options for care in our community? Press 1 if your answer is yes, I'm aware of the options and know where to go depending on my symptoms. Press 2 if your answer is I know there are a few options, but I'm not sure where to go for care. Press 3 if your answer is no, I do not know my options. Let me repeat the questions and your choices. If you or a family member were sick and required medical assistance, do you know your options for care in our community? Press 1 if your answer is yes, I'm aware of the options and know where to go depending on my symptoms. Press 2 if your answer is I know there are a few options, but I'm not sure where to go for care. Press 3 if your answer is no, I do not know my options. Please enter your response on your phone now. I will share the results shortly. We will now begin taking your questions. For those who have just joined the telephone town hall, if you'd like to ask a question or make a comment, press star 3 on your phone. This will bring you into the question queue to speak with one of OSLER's leaders. We kindly ask that you keep your questions brief so that we can get to as many as possible. Our first question is from Sandra. Sandra, please ask your question.
Hello. Thank you for holding these telephone town hall meetings. Greatly appreciated, and as are the great people that work at Peel Memorial and Brampton Civic Hospital. My comment is regarding MyChart. It's very, very useful, but I was wondering if it could be enhanced to provide like push or automatic email notifications and reminders, for appointments or when results are available to be seen. I know that other hospitals, MyChart equivalents, do this already, and I was hoping that MyChart could be improved that way as well. And on a not so positive thing, but if there could be some additional training for doctors when treating elderly patients, in particular in how they communicate with them, and avoiding statements like they've lived longer than their actuarial expected age, and so whatever time they've lived past that is a bonus. I was really disappointed and shocked to have heard a doctor say that, and especially given all the work that's done with treating geriatric patients, and so if that can be added to some additional training for the doctors.
Great. Thank you so much, Sandra, for your question. I'm going to ask Mary Jane McNally, our Chief Patient Experience Officer, to answer your question.
Good evening, Sandra. It's Mary Jane. What a great question with regards to MyChart. And if you don't mind, I'll just take a moment to make sure everyone on the call knows what MyChart is. It's our patient portal. It's digital, and it's a way that patients can have access to their own health information. So lab results, diagnostic imaging, reports from doctors. And Sandra, to your point, we are working very hard on improving our notification processes. Right now, we have the capability to send out appointment reminders, but right now, anything more than that is something that is on our absolute to-do list. We've worked hard on getting real-time results into MyChart, so our next step will be exactly what you're asking for. So if you can be patient for a few months and then test it out again, we'll have something ready to share with you. And thank you for being a MyChart user. Very important. Now, based on your comments, it's really hard to hear what you heard within an OSLER experience, and we really work hard on ensuring that no one is treated differently with regards to their differences, whether it's gender, age, cultural background, language, and we really support a values-based organization focused on respect and compassion. So I'm going to take your comments back. And I know that our Chief of Staff will be very interested in the feedback, whether it's physician communication or other staff. We want to make sure that every patient feels heard and supported and receives the highest of quality care. Thank you for your comments, Sandra.
Thank you, Mary Jane. I'll now go to our online questions. We have a question from Raina. What services are offered at Peel Memorial beyond the Urgent Care Center? So I'll now ask Kathy Renault, Interim Associate Vice President in Capital Development, to answer that question.
Thanks, Hema, and thanks, Rania. I'm really excited to tell you more about Peel Memorial. Peel Memorial provides the residents of Brampton and surrounding communities with an innovative outpatient hospital facility and easy access to a wide variety of healthcare services. In addition to the 24-hour, 7 days a week urgent care center, some of the other services that we currently provide here at Peel Memorial are day surgeries and procedures, programs for seniors that help them to manage their conditions, mental health services for children and youth under the age of 18, women's and children's programs that care for babies and their mothers, diagnostic imaging including mammography, ultrasound, and CT scan to help us provide fast, accurate diagnoses so patients can begin their treatment as quickly as possible. And also, we have a dialysis clinic that provides monitoring and care and support for all of our community dialysis patients. Combined with these existing services, the new Peel Memorial will offer additional inpatient beds, as well as new and enhanced outpatient clinics and services. The additional capacity at Peel Memorial will allow us to free up beds at Brampton Civic Hospital for the sicker and more acutely ill patients.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kathy. We now have a question on the phone. Melissa, please ask your question.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for holding this town hall. My question is regarding masking. What is the hospital's current policy with respect to wearing a face mask? And my other question is, if the clinical situation changes and the community becomes sicker with respiratory viruses, what will the policy be in terms of masking at the hospital? And lastly, I'm wondering if Osler has reconsidered their policy in the event that there's a big outbreak again, their policy with respect to limiting or not allowing loved ones to see sick and dying family members.
Thank you for your question, Melissa. I'll ask Mary Jane to answer.
Hi, Melissa. Mary Jane again. I'm going to start with your masking question. We're feeling very, very confident in our masking policy, consistent with other hospitals in the surrounding area. Everyone is required to wear a hospital-issued mask when you're close to patients. So that could be right at the bedside, in the emergency department, in a waiting room of an outpatient area. So we're feeling very, very strongly about maintaining the safety of everyone. As you know, we have a very vulnerable patient population that enters our walls. So everyone's safety is our ultimate goal. Now, is that going to change? As hopefully not, but as illnesses progress, we will reevaluate that over time, but trust that we'll ensure that safety is our primary goal.
Great, thank you.
Now, one more question. Visitor policy. Right now, we're ensuring that every inpatient is allowed 2 visitors and up to 4 visitors if a patient is going through a dying process. I just want to make a strong reminder about 1 visitor in our emergency department per patient and 2 for children. We're having huge volumes, and we really need to be mindful of all of the people that are close together. But rest assured, anyone that's dying will never die alone. Please know that. We're strongly committed to that, and I hope that helps answer, Melissa.
Thanks so much, Mary Jane, for answering that question. We would now like to announce the results from our second polling question. If you or a family member were sick and required medical assistance, do you know your options for care in our community? 51% said yes, I'm aware of the options and know where to go depending on my symptoms. 33% said I know there are a few options, but I'm not sure where to go for care. And 16% said no, I do not know my options. Thank you for this helpful input. Your ideas and feedback are always important to us. I would now like to introduce Kathy Renaud, Interim Associate Vice President, Capital Development at Osler, to share the latest on Osler's redevelopment project.
Thanks, Hema, and good evening, everyone. I'm so pleased to be here tonight to provide an update on the new Peel Memorial Hospital and plans to enhance our cancer care services in our community. I'm happy to share that we continue to make progress on the exciting transformation of Peel Memorial into Brampton's new hospital. Over the past few months, Osler has been active in the community, and you may have seen us at the Brampton Farmers Market or a community barbecue. At these events, as well as through our many channels, we've been engaging with residents around the design of the new Peel Memorial Hospital through an online community survey. The response has been tremendous, with over 2,200 residents participating in the survey and contributing their valuable insights and feedback. Common themes that were identified through the survey include ease of mobility within the hospital, including for those in wheelchairs and those using mobility aids, and plenty of parking. Natural light, windows, and spacious areas to promote a comfortable, healing environment. Comfortable waiting areas and plenty of seating. Green space and outdoor areas that enhance the city's natural beauty. And we are also so pleased to see that 82% of respondents rate our current Peel Memorial design as good, very good, or excellent. The insights gained from the survey help us to establish a foundation for the design of the new Peel Memorial Hospital that is best for patient care and the community, as well as a safe and supportive workplace for Osler's team. As Peel Memorial's exciting transformation continues, Osler is committed to keeping you informed. Over the coming months, Osler will continue to engage with the community in various ways, so please stay tuned for more updates as we will share them. The next important milestone in this project is the request for qualifications. This is the first step in the process to select a team for the construction expertise and the financial capacity to take on a project of this size and scope. Once all of the requests for qualification submissions are received, Osler will partner with Infrastructure Ontario to pre-qualify those firms that meet the criteria and invite them to respond to a request for proposals. Pre-construction site activity is going on now while Osler proceeds with the required stages of approval with the Ministry of Health and Infrastructure Ontario. At this time, early construction to prepare the site and expand the space in the existing building are anticipated to begin in 2024. As with all construction projects, the dates are subject to change. The new Peel Memorial Hospital will include a multi-story tower built on the northwest corner of the current building. This area of the property offers the best and most direct connection to the existing building and will ensure the greatest benefits to patient care and experience. The added inpatient capacity at Peel Memorial Hospital will address the significant need for more specialized care for patients requiring longer hospital stays before they can safely return home or to other care facilities in our community. And it will help create more space for the very sick patients at Brampton Civic Hospital. As well, Osler's plans for a comprehensive cancer center in Brampton are currently moving through the next stages of planning. At Osler, we are already providing a wide range of quality, compassionate cancer services, including prevention, screening, diagnosis, and treatment, with a focus on care closer to home. The new cancer center will enable us to also provide radiation therapy, which means that patients will not need to travel outside this community for this treatment during a vulnerable time. Through both the transformation of Peel Memorial and planning a new comprehensive cancer center, Osler is building healthcare capacity to serve our communities well into the future. We'll be sure to keep the community informed of the latest developments on these vital projects. Thank you, and I look forward to answering any questions you might have, and I'm now going to hand it back to Hema.
Thank you, Kathy. For those who have just joined, if you'd like to ask a question or make a comment, press *3 on your phone. This will bring you into the question queue to speak with one of Osler's leaders. We kindly ask that you keep your questions brief so we can get to as many as possible. We would now like to open the line to answer more of your questions. Please press *3 on your phone to bring you into the question queue and to speak to Osler's leaders. Again, we kindly ask that you keep your questions brief so that we can get to as many as possible. Our next question is from Raj. It's actually online, so I'll read the question. I can't seem to get a timely appointment with my family physician when needed. Should I go to the emergency department, or are there other alternatives? I will now ask Tony to respond.
Thank you, Hima, and good evening, everyone. And Raj, thank you for your question. There are several options for care, and it is important to know what help is available depending on your symptoms. For community members who are unable to get a timely appointment with their family doctor or don't have one, the Regional Virtual Urgent Care Clinic is available 7 days a week. Osler's Urgent Care Center at Peel Memorial is always available 24/7 for non-life-threatening illnesses and injuries such as sprains, broken bones, minor burns, ear aches, and eye injuries, infections, or nose and throat complaints. And at Osler's emergency departments at Brampton Civic and Etobicoke General Hospitals are always available 24/7 for medical emergencies and serious injuries or conditions. These include chest pain, shortness of breath, numbness or weakness in arms, major trauma, mental health issues, seizures, or stroke symptoms. It is also very important to know that for babies who are 6 months of age or younger, parents should only go to an emergency department. Please visit Osler's website for more information on where to go for care in the community. I'm going to pass it back to Hima. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. We now have a question on the phone. Marcia, please ask your question.
Hello?
Hi, Marcia, you're on the line.
Yeah, hi. I just asked my question. It's about a mental health issue. I was just wondering, how long is it before you can get help to the mental health department in Peel here? Because it's so hard. And I want to know if it's just 2 doctors there working, because that's all they can tell you. It's only 2 doctors. I already gone there with my daughter, and the doctor turned us away because my daughter wouldn't put down her phone, and my daughter needs to get diagnosed as soon as fast because her case is just climbing. Depression is just coming up on her. And I think that Dr. Sadu wasn't the professional at that time as a mental case doctor.
Okay, thank you for your question, Marcia. I'm now going to ask Dr. Martino to answer.
Thank you. And Marcia, I'm sorry that this happened in your encounter with the physician and your daughter's mental health concerns, especially the depression she is dealing with. We do have a central intake program for adult and child and adolescent mental health. That program is called the STEP program, one of the most innovative programs when it comes to actually triaging patients with regards to their the degree and seriousness of their mental health condition. It allows us to see the really severe and urgent cases quickly, and others with less later in the process. We encourage patients to go to their family doctor to access this system. We're fortunate at Osler in having a number of child and adolescent psychiatrists, and recently we engaged with a foundation, the Gilkin Foundation, to raise funds for our adolescent intensive day program for young people who are at significant risk of self-harm. The program is in collaboration with our outpatient program here at Peel Memorial, but also with our inpatient program at Brampton Civic Hospital. I encourage you to go back to your family doctor and allow your family doctor to be the conduit to getting attention for your daughter through our mental health program. This STEP program will allow your family doctor to engage with our central intake staff to assure that your daughter gets back to the psychiatrist. And the concept of young people not getting off their phone should not deter your daughter from getting care. So please go back. We will be waiting for you.
Great, thank you, Dr. Makino. We have one question online from Vince. It's what will be the benefits of the new School of Medicine for the community? I'll ask Dr. Baxter to answer that.
Thanks, Hema. And thanks, Vince, for your question. I had already mentioned that the School of Medicine aims to increase availability of high-quality health care and attract top medical talent to Osler and the surrounding community. And I also mentioned the economic benefits to Brampton and the area. But really, I feel that the greatest benefit is that the Toronto Metropolitan University School of Medicine will be preparing physicians to deliver care in this community. The school will open in 2025, and there will be 94 undergraduate program seats for medical students. But at the same time, 105 postgraduate trainees will begin training at that time. And the majority of these medical residents are going to train in family medicine. And as that's a 2-year program, that means that we will have family physicians who have completed their training and are ready to practice in the community by 2027. And I think this is really great. So thanks for your question.
Great, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Before we take more phone and web questions, I'd like to invite Mary Jane McNally, Osler's Chief Patient Executive Officer, to say a few words.
Thank you, Hema, and good evening again, everyone. I want to begin by recognizing Hema Ramloshan-Tuit, tonight's moderator. You are such an incredible partner for Osler, and we are grateful for your time and insights. I also want to recognize all of the valued members of our Patient and Family Advisory Council who are community volunteers for their ongoing contributions to the work that we do. Their voices and experiences help guide Osler's policies, planning and strategy, and their wisdom and insight help us connect more deeply with our community. I just want to build briefly on Kathy's earlier remarks. I'd like to also add that as planning on the new Peel Memorial Hospital progresses, we continue to consult our stakeholders to address the needs of and recognize our incredibly diverse community. This includes thinking about artwork, Indigenous signage, how we represent land acknowledgement, support for traditional ceremonies, a focus on safer spaces, for example, all-gender washrooms, just as a few examples of the work that we're doing. I've already talked a lot about our masking policy and our visitor policy, so I'm just going to encourage all of you who are planning to visit a loved one in hospital, please stay home if you feel unwell or that you have symptoms such as respiratory illness, cough, shortness of breath, any fever or stomach illnesses. If you need any support or have any questions about your care or the care of a loved one at Osler, our Patient Experience Office is here to help. Please check our website for the various ways to contact our office. Thank you, everyone, for all your support as we work towards getting back to a less restrictive but still safe environment for our hospitals. I will now turn it back to our incredible moderator, Hema.
Thank you, Mary Jane. I would now like to ask Ken Mayhew, Osler's Foundation's President and CEO, to say a few words.
Thank you very much, Hema, and good evening, everyone. As you've heard, these are certainly very exciting times for Osler and, by extension, for Osler's Foundation. At Osler, giving begins at home, and almost 1,500 staff and physicians are donors to our hospitals. This summer, Osler staff member Ashley Tarasco and her family hosted a golf tournament in honor of her late mother, which raised nearly $15,000 for the oncology department at Brampton Civic, where her mother received care. And former Foundation board member and longtime champion Jamie Brass recently hosted a casino night event which raised more than $70,000 for Etobicoke General Hospital. Jamie and his neighbors are committed to continue the event and raising over $500,000 for EGH. These types of support are so vital because the community must fund 100% of the equipment costs and 10% of the construction costs for our hospitals. And it's critical that we continue to have strong community partners and champions. And as my colleague Kathy mentioned, this is especially important as we look forward to the construction of the new Peel Memorial Hospital. Peel Memorial has an incredible legacy of community support dating back over 100 years to when the original hospital opened, something that only happened thanks to the committed and dedicated volunteers and donors. Early this fall, we brought together Peel Memorial community champions, and I can tell you that those who know its proud history, providing healthcare to generations in Brampton, are very, very excited to be part of the latest chapter in Peel's storied history. One inspiring story that comes to mind is that of the Brampton Bramalea Lions Club, who on that night increased their support for our Peel Memorial fundraising campaign to an incredible $2 million. And this weekend will be another special moment as we host our 10th annual Gala benefit concert on Saturday evening at the Rose Brampton. We're also looking forward to our annual Giving Tuesday fundraising campaign happening, oddly enough, next Tuesday on November 28th. I invite you to watch out for that on social media and on our website. Giving Tuesday kicks off a season of giving for many cultures. And if you're planning your year-end donations, I hope you'll consider including a gift to Osler. Not only will it support our vital work and that you've heard tonight, but your donation will be doubled thanks to an incredible $1.25 million matching gift from a generous member of our board. And that means that each and every donation, large and small, will be matched. So to give, please visit oslerfoundation.ca. That's oslerfoundation.ca. And my heartfelt thanks in advance to all for your generous support. And I'll now turn things back to Hema.
Thank you, Ken. We sincerely appreciate everything the Foundation does to support our hospitals and, in turn, our community. I hear the Gala Benefit concert is a truly memorable event each year. I look forward to hearing all of the highlights. We would like to open the line to answer more of your questions. Press *3 on your phone to bring you into question queue and to speak with Osler's leaders. Again, we kindly ask that you keep your questions brief so that we can get to as many as possible. Our next question is from Edna. Edna, I believe you're on the phone.
Yeah.
Can you please ask your question?
Yeah, I have an appointment. I am over 80 years old and my diabetes is jumping up and down. What do I do? What step do I take?
Great. Thank you for your question. Dr. Martino, are you able to help?
Certainly, and thank you for your question, Edna. And many people may not be aware, but we have one of the highest rates of diabetes in the Brampton and Central West area of the GTA, higher than most regions in Canada. With this high rate of diabetes comes a lot of significant illness associated with cardiovascular disease, kidney disease, problems with vision and your limbs. So, Edna, we do have a diabetes education center here and a complex diabetes clinic that addresses patients with their diabetes, educates them, helps manage their diabetes, and we collaborate with our community partners and clinics within the community. I'm sure your family doctor was the one that sent you to our clinic, and we look forward to helping you in managing your diabetes and its various complications, managing the medication you take, and assuring that you don't have the complications that come with this disease. So we look forward to seeing you here at the hospital so we can help you with your diabetes.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Martino. We have another question on the phone from Ruth. Ruth, please ask your question.
Good evening. My question is, how does Etobicoke General fit into all those programs? For instance, in regards to cardiology, urology, geriatrics, do they have those departments too, or are they referred to Osler in Brampton?
Great question, Ruth. I'll have Tony answer.
Ruth, thank you for your question. I wanted to reassure you that all of the services the majority of services that you've highlighted are available at the Etobicoke General Hospital with some minor exceptions. We continue to reevaluate our services on a go-forward basis. And if you are at the Etobicoke General Hospital and require clinical services that are not available, we want to ensure that we continue to prioritize access and we coordinate that service between the sites. I also did want to reiterate that Etobicoke remains a full-service hospital, and we're very proud of the exceptional, not only the facility, but also the exceptional staff that provide exemplary care. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Tony. We have a question online from Malik Hazai. How can we help Osler Health System? I'll ask Ken to answer that question for us.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you, Malachi, for your very thoughtful question. There are a number of ways that you can get involved, and the first one would be, as I just mentioned, just a reminder that community donations are vital and fund everything from chairs in our waiting rooms to beds, stretchers, CT scans, and MRI machines. So that's a critical way that you can continue to support us, and we're grateful for that support. That can be done, as I mentioned, through oslerfoundation.org, which is our website, oslerfoundation.org. Another really important way to get involved that's meaningful is through volunteerism, something my daughters have done. It's a great way to give back and to gain a great sense of reward by helping others at our hospitals. So please feel free to either visit our website or give us a call to find out more about that. And the last one I might mention, in addition, obviously, hopefully, to be masking anytime you visit our facilities, is to just consider getting involved with Mary Jane's team as a member of our patient family advisory group. They do tremendous work, and they help us with a lot of the policy work and planning that we need to do as an institution. So thank you again for your question, Malachi. We're very grateful for the offer of support.
Thanks, Ken. We have another person on the phone. Lyle, can you please ask your question?
Yes, hello.
Hi.
Hi. A patient at Brampton Civic Hospital is a dialysis patient. I've recently transferred from Etobicoke because it's a little bit closer to my location. Now, being there for a while, I've been doing dialysis since 2015. I've seen the equipment, in the sense, not the dialyzer equipment, but the chairs and the beds are becoming deteriorating, constant use. Is there anything that the hospital? I just heard that they are looking for a contribution and things like that. But I mean, before the contribution, for chairs and beds, the staff also is quite overwhelmed with the amount of patients that's going through. Out of the two, Brampton and Etobicoke General, right? What are you going to do about that? I know you're trying to increase, but expansion on the different facilities, but the hospital really needs a strong team to go out there and get the patients at least the comfort, because I find that they're having from one condition, major condition, to a different condition coming up.
Thank you so much for your... Sorry, Lyle. I'll let you finish. If you're finished answering your question, I'll ask Tony to answer your question for you.
Wow, thank you for your question. I do want to highlight the dialysis program is actually very, very close to me. It actually sits within my portfolio. Currently, we're very proud of the work we do within dialysis. We have one of the largest regional programs within the province, and I do want to highlight and thank you for your feedback, and I will share it with the team. We take feedback very seriously in terms of ensuring that we continue to promote our patient experience. I would recommend as well that there are some great patient family opportunities for you to participate as part of our patient and family council that you can get involved with. I know they're very active within the renal program, But again, I want to thank you for your feedback, and I'll take that back as well.
Thank you, Tony. I want to thank everyone for your insightful questions tonight. Just a reminder that if we weren't able to get to you tonight, we are gathering your information so we can get back to you and answer the questions you have as best as we can. We now have one final polling question to ask you tonight, and we would appreciate your feedback as it'll help us plan future OSLR events. To answer the question, please press the number on your phone that corresponds with your answer. Our third and final polling question is, did you find tonight's telephone town hall informative? Press 1 if your answer is yes, this has been informative and I plan to participate again. Press 2 if your answer is somewhat, I found tonight's event fairly helpful. Press 3 if your answer is no, I did not feel it was informative. I will now turn it over to Dr. Martino for final thoughts.
Thank you again, Hima, for moderating tonight's telephone town hall. You have done a wonderful job once again. We all are sincerely appreciative of the tremendous contributions you make as a member of OSLR's Patient and Family Advisory Council and as a member of the Health Services and Quality Committee of the OSLR's Board of Directors. Thank you also to Dr. Dorothy Backer from the Toronto Metropolitan University, Elsa Cabral, member of OSLR's Board of Directors, and Ken Mayhew, OSLR's Foundation President and CEO, for being here this evening. And thank you to my colleagues, Kiki Ferrari, Tony Razzo, Kathy Renault, and Mary Jane McNally, for providing updates and for answering questions from our community. Tonight, we've reached over 7,700 households throughout the hour. That is incredible. To everyone who has joined us tonight, thank you so much for your participation, and thank you to everyone who called in with questions and comments. At OSLR, we're proud to be your community hospital, and we know that our efforts are strengthened when we engage with residents and hear from you about what's most important to you in our community and hospital services. We hope we can make OSLR an even stronger organization to serve our incredible community. Please know that your comments, questions, and experiences make a difference in all that we do. We will be hosting another telephone town hall, an OSLR telephone town hall this spring, and we hope you can join us again. Until then, we'll continue to keep you, your families, and the community updated on hospital matters through OSLR's website, our newsletter, which is called Inside OSLR, social media, and our various communication channels. On behalf of OSLR staff, physicians, and volunteers, I offer our deepest thanks for your ongoing support of OSLR and our healthcare teams. I wish you all a healthy, safe, and joyous holiday season with your families and loved ones. Thank you, and stay well.
This wraps up OSLR's Town Hall. Thank you to all of our speakers for your insightful updates tonight. And thank you to our community for your great questions and active participation. The recording of tonight's call will be available on OSLR's website in the next few days. If you have questions we did not get to, please email them to, and we will respond to them in the coming days. Once again, that's publicrelations@williamoslerhs.ca. Thank you again, and enjoy the rest of your evening.